Hey, hello champions. Welcome to this session where we are going to create a web server in matter of few minutes using a service called EC2, that is Elastic Cloud Compute. So let's quickly get started. So let me quickly share my screen. So once you log into your EC2 console, you will come to the dashboard, and in fact what you can do is you can search for the service called EC2. So you can type EC2. Okay, you can click on this and you will come to the EC2 dashboard. So this is how the dashboard would look like. And now let's revise the step that we need to take before we get started. So I'll in this demo, we will be taking quick steps to demonstrate few things. So let me show you those steps. So these are the few steps, okay, that we need to execute for this lab. So what we will be doing is we will be creating a new virtual instance, which is or virtual machine, which is also called an instance. We will tag the server, and just as you know, when you select the laptop or any machine, what is that you do? You select the operating system, you select the CPU RAM, and you also select the hard disk. Okay, so that is what you do. That's what we will do in this case as well. So quickly going ahead with the steps is you can click on launch instance, and you can click on this orange tab, and then once again a launch instance. So now there will be many instances out there. So how do you isolate your instance? So the best way is to name your server. So tag. So now that we have clicked on launch instance, we'll name the server. Let's name it as demo hyphen EC2. Okay, and like I said, the next step is selecting operating system, the instance type, which means CPU and RAM, and the hard disk. So here you can see I'll go with the default settings. The OS that is selected, while there are many different OS out here, but here quick demo, we are going to go with the Amazon Linux. Okay, it's 64-bit OS, as you can see, and this is the instance type, which means what is the combination of CPU and RAM. So you can see we are going with T2.micro, which has one CPU and 1 GB of RAM, which is good enough for us to be in free tier and also to try and test this out. The next option that you have is key pair, and this is required when you are creating machine, and more importantly when you want to log in that machine using SSH. So when you want to connect to that machine, so I have many key pairs out here. You won't have, because you are doing it for the first time. So you can click on create new key pair. Okay, give it some name. So let's say demo EC2. Okay, so I'll give that. You can go with the default one like RSA and .pem. Okay, I'll say create key pair, and you can say you can see the key pem got downloaded. And now with the networking settings, I wanted to go with default networking settings. So this is a default VPC, that is virtual private cloud. Okay, you can see it has got auto assigned public IP. I want this server to have a public IP, so I'll go with default setting. And the only thing change that you need to do here is I'll go with the default security group. So the option says create security group. I won't create new. What I'll do is I'll select default security group, and here you will quickly go into this default settings. Okay, so there is already a security group out here. You'll select the default one. Okay, and you can see it belongs to the same VPC which we have here, VPC 82 and so on. Okay, and sorry for that. Yeah, and then now if I come to the storage is nothing but the hard disk. You can select hard disk as low as 8 GB. So I've selected the 8 GB of hard disk, and now you can see this advanced details tab. So you can click on advanced details, and scroll down to the user data section. So you can see this section. So I'll come back to the steps once again. We have selected, we have tagged the server, operating system, instance type, default networking settings. Go to advanced section and put these commands, okay, under the user data section. Now where to find this command? So I've shared a link with you, okay, the YouTube link. So you can click on that link. Okay, and once you come to the description field of my YouTube video, you will see in the description field, you will see this show more option. So click on show more. Okay, now copy this piece of code. So I'll copy it. Please copy it the way it is. I don't want you to edit it, otherwise you'll end up making mistakes. So there's some typo errors. Copy it the way it is, okay, and just paste it. To quickly explain what this code is about. So this is a Linux box, and we are running a shell script, okay, a 4-liner shell script. So we are calling a shell. So shell is nothing but an interpreter. Interpreter means it converts these commands into Linux commands, something that your machine can understand. So that is what this bash does. The first command is sudo su hyphen. Now, I hope you are very good at good Windows administrators. So but before you install any package, you need to have administrative rights. Administrator in Linux is called as super user or root. So before I install any package, what I am doing here is I am assuming the administrative rights with this command sudo space su space hyphen, and then we are installing a package. So we are installing a web server here, and web server package is called Apache, and it's also called, the service is called as HTTPD. So hypertext transfer protocol, D stands for daemon. So this is a Linux command to install the service, and this, it makes no sense if you just install the service. You need to start the service as well. So I'm installing the service, and I'm starting the service. Okay, with service HTTPD start. And this last command is just to ensure, like, if in case if you reboot your server, the service should still be on. Otherwise, defaultly it is in switch off state. So I'm just ensuring that if you restart the server, it's still on. So interpreter, assuming root rights or administrative rights, install the service, start the service, and you can keep this on. So keeping that in mind, sorry guys, this is very sensitive, but yeah, you can click on launch instance. Once you can see the instance got launched, you can click on this, and right now we'll make some networking settings. So you can see the instance is coming up, the demo EC2 instance. So demo-EC2, as I said, was the name of the tag. The instance is pending state, and now we just need to make few networking settings. So what I'll do is, you can see here I've selected my instance. I'll go into the security settings. Okay, and if I scroll down, you can see the security groups. Okay, what you need to do is right click this and open in new tab. So what we are basically doing here is opening the security group settings into a new tab, and this is the security group, default security group that I had. We need to make some settings in the inbound rules. So defaultly you are in inbound rules. Scroll to the bottom right, say edit inbound rules. Now there are several settings out here, and this setting might be missing. We need to make this HTTP setting. So right now it is already made for me. I'll delete this one because this is what you need to do. So you need to come scroll down. After you click edit inbound rules, scroll down, click on bottom left, that is add rule. Okay, click on this custom TCP and search for HTTP. So now you can see you have HTTP and HTTPS, but please make sure you select HTTP, that is port 80, as you can see over here, and then you can click custom once again here in this and select IPv4 anywhere. Okay, so it says 0.0.0.0/0, which means, so we are creating a web server, guys. Okay, and this web server web page should be accessible to anyone. So the way to say it anyone is 0.0. So to any public IP, like any users of yours should be able to access that web page, and that is what we are saying with this setting. So scroll down and say save rules. So I'll click save rules. Now I've saved the rules in the security group, and I'll get back to the original tab where I created my instance. So I'll go back to the earlier tab, and you can see I'll scroll up. I was in security tab. I'll again come back to the details. Okay, I'm into details right now, and now what I need to do is just need to copy this public IP. So you can copy this public IP manually, or you can click on this square box. Don't click on this open address because it defaultly opens your web page at HTTPS port, which is 443, and this is something we should not be doing. So now that you have copied the address, just try it, paste that in the browser, and if you can see this test page, voila, you just created a web server for yourself. So if I quickly go with the next steps, now that you have tested your web page, please make sure you note your region and also delete the instance. Okay, so what we need to do is I'll go back to the EC2 instance once again, and the fact that you are able to see this web page simply means that your test was successful. This web page that you created is a success. So I'll go back to this. Okay, and let me show you the region. So there are different regions where you can create this server. So my default region is North Virginia. Check out the default region for yourself and make sure you are using this region for all the rest of the labs. Okay, and now it's time to delete the instance. So what I'll do is I'll select this instance. I'll select the instance state and say terminate instance. It will ask you for the confirmation. Go ahead to terminate. And now if I refresh, you can see this instance is going into shutting down state. So it will shut down and then it will go into terminated states. Please make a note that once this instance is terminated, you'll still see this entry for next 1 hour and then it will be gone. So don't get panic. As long as you can see it in the terminated states, we are good. So that's what we had in this lab. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I look forward to see you in the next lab. Take care. Cheers. Bye-bye.